All right, hey everybody, back with another news feed for you. Don't forget I post at least a minimum of one video a day, sometimes two, sometimes three. Hit the subscribe button, and there's some cool information down in the description below for you today. We're going to start this off. Torque news right here. We have Subaru pulls off what no other car brand in America can match. What did they do? Well, where does the Subaru Forester, Outback, and Crosstrek rank in best-selling SUVs? They are far from the top, but it's also more interesting stack is that Subaru alone is a critical area that no other car brand can match. What that is basically is Subaru doesn't have any models in the 5 top best-selling SUVs, but it has one in the top 10. With half a year gone now, good. Okay, keep reading because Subaru pulled off what no other car brand can. Come on, tell me, where is it here? What do they got going on here? What they have is basically they may not have a ton of them in the top 5 or the top 10, but they do have 3 in the top 15. No other brand does that. Okay, that's pretty cool. When you look at it, we got the Subaru Forester coming in at number 8 right here. We got the Subaru Outback at number 11 and the Subaru Crosstrek at number 13. No other company has got more in the top 15, and Subaru basically has almost every model they make is somewhere in the top 15. Pretty impressive. That's kind of cool. They give you some details right here. Number of units sold, Subaru Forester. We're not hanging on this for long. I'm going to hurry through it. You can read it if you want to, but I thought that was pretty interesting that they may not be in the top 5, but they do have one in the top 10, and out of the top 15, 3 of them. Pretty impressive. So well done right there, Subaru. All right, so moving on from there. Next one we got on here. States with the most and least expensive gas according to AAA. We are going to go through this pretty quickly and look at it, but here you go. These are the most expensive states, California being the highest right here, so you can look at this if you're interested. Here's the lowest ones. Mississippi and Louisiana look like the place to live right now. Texas coming in too. These are all very good, nice, low numbers in here, so very impressive as we see them as these. We are moving on from this too. We are not lingering, and on to this one. Now this one here, interesting, the states with the most expensive car insurance. This one's kind of crazy here. Annual cost or average annual cost for full coverage car insurance. Look at this ranges, okay? We're talking $1,500 to $2,000, $2,000 to $3,000. Look at the colors, $2,500 to $3,000 and over $3,000. Okay, when you get into these states, this is insane. These numbers, this is per one car for the year for full coverage insurance. If you're a family of 2 cars, you know, you could be paying $5,000. If you live in Florida, you're paying $7,000 a year in car insurance for 2 vehicles. I mean, these prices are just getting out of hand. And I find it interesting how some of them, like if you look at this, like Connecticut was the highest with $3,500, Maryland $3,400, South Carolina $3,300. But here's the lowest. Now this is interesting. Okay, North Carolina is only $1,400. South Carolina is $3,300. They're right next to each other. I don't understand how this stuff works and how they come up with this BS stuff, but in car insurance, absolutely ridiculous. Just one of the most ridiculous things that we've ever seen. It's just sad is what it is. It's really sad, but you can look at this map, see where you live and where you rank, like I'm here in Georgia. So we are fitting in right in here. That is absolutely ridiculous. Same as it was when I lived in Michigan here. It's just crazy how these are, but look at these numbers here. If you live in some of these states up here, you know, like I said, Maine was the lowest at New Hampshire was the lowest at 1,000. Okay, pretty crazy, pretty interesting, but crazy. Now, next one here. This one is the main topic we want to talk about, but I love this, okay? Watch a 40-inch Jeep tire launch a Nissan Murano that was fleeing the cops. Okay, so this Nissan Murano is stolen. I believe he's taken off and he goes, and as he tries to get away from cops, he ends up catching his car, ends up running into the tires of the 40-inch tires on his Gladiator. And look at this video. Look at this. He launches by hitting that 40-inch tire. That tire just picked him up and launched him here. Let's read it real quick here. High-speed chase in San Diego, California, accumulated in a Nissan Murano going airborne and rolling over on the highway after crashing into a Jeep Gladiator. The Murano man was fleeing the police and attempting to weave between traffic on Interstate 8 when he hit the oversized tire of the Jeep, launching the Murano upward and flipping it onto its side. The driver and passengers of the Gladiator were unharmed in the crash, but the front passenger of the Murano, however you say it, was taken to the hospital to be treated for injuries that she sustained in the crash. crash. Meanwhile, the Murano's driver fled on foot and was later caught by police, according to the family in the Jeep. Pretty crazy. You can see it. I'm not going to play it here because of copyright stuff, but you can go see it if you want to. You up at the top, you see how to find this. The crash happened on the 15th eastbound on here. Okay, social media off-road enthusiast groups who convoy was struck during the high-speed chase. Okay, it was a bunch of guys going there and heading out. You can see pictures of it right here. The Murano driver was reportedly trying to evade officers during a routine traffic stop and with an expired registration. San Diego Police Department claims, but the Nissan SUV fled. Chase ensued. The Murano hit at least one other vehicle, taking the on-ramp along I-5, but kept going, leading to crashing in with a Jeep and rolling over. Look at how crazy that is. But look at this beautiful 40-inch, man. That is gorgeous Gladiator. And he hit those tires, and the tire just picked him up. The rubber of it and everything, it just picked him up, and it sent him flying. That's pretty awesome. You can see all I did to the Gladiator was rip the fender flare off. That's all I did, rip the fender flare off. He caught that tire and it just sent him packing. All right, looks like that Gladiator ended up, they did put it on a flatbed to tow it, but it sounds like it went pretty good. It says right here on here that the 3 Gladiators that were in this convoy, modified for off-road and overlanding, sported rooftop tents, truck bed racks, and of course, large off-road tires. The 2022 Gladiator Rubicon, struck by the Murano, seems to have been riding on 40-inch Milestar Patagonia tires, according to the owner, who went on to say that Patagonia 40s can serve as a launching pad for fleeing Nissan. And yet the Jeep is still standing on all 4 of her feet. The Gladiator seemed to have made it relatively unscathed, save for the fenders, but it's unclear what the total extent of the damage was. Clearly, the Jeep fared better than the Nissan did. California Vehicle Code doesn't prohibit tires of the same size as those on the Jeep. It only stipulates that they must be covered by fenders to limit backspray and debris. Nevertheless, the Murano may have just as well rolled even if the fenders were in place. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty interesting here. You can see it right there. I mean, that's these are the vehicles that were involved in there. This was the convoy of those here. And look at this thing. What a beautiful, beautiful Gladiator. Both fenders. Looks like you got both fenders. The back fender and the front fender. Doesn't look like one bit of damage to the body. How many times have we talked about that? Or I've done videos on it too about how great it is that, they have their fender flares sticking out on the Jeep, so you actually get very little between that and the rock rails. The body very seldomly ever gets any damage off-road because you got the huge fender flares, the wheels sticking way out, and the rock rails on here. Perfect example of that right here. Look at how this thing just fared completely perfectly, and it just launched a Nissan up in the air and flipped it over. So that pretty cool, pretty interesting story. I thought it was pretty unique, and but yeah, definitely not something you see every day. There it is right there. Look at that. That is just crazy. And well, like I said, Gladiators are pretty durable. All right, thanks for watching.